Hi guys, my name is Brittany and I am the owner and founder of Snoozy Mama Sleep Solutions. So many of you guys have reached out to me on how to fix your broken snooze. In this video, I'm going to go over how to fix the motor O-rings, the roller O-rings, how to take apart and reassemble the snoo. Also included, I'm going to go over tips and tricks and troubleshooting steps along the way. Before we get started, I wanted to tell you about our O-ring repair kit, which includes all of the O-rings you'll need to repair your snoo. I recommend ordering these ASAP so you can get your snoo up and running in no time. To order your repair kit, simply go to our website at www.snoozymama.com. So the first thing you guys are going to want to do is put some gloves on. The used snoo can be very dirty, so you want to protect yourself. The first step we're going to do is we're going to grab our wedge tool. This tool helps pop open all of these clips. So what you want to do is you want to take your tool, dig it underneath, and do a twisting motion to pop them off. You're going to do this with all of the snaps. After you remove all your clips, sometimes some spit up gets caked in between. I take a bowl of very hot water, I spray my Dawn, and I let my clips soak in here while I'm cleaning the rest of the netting. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to pull up the mesh and clean in between. So how you do that is you just easily pop the mesh up. So now that you have your mesh disconnected, you can lift up and see how much dirt is on the inside of your snoo. For the vacuum, I use my handheld Ryobi vacuum with the special extension tubing so I can get into all of the crevices. These are all linked into my secondhand survival snoo guide, so you'll be able to order them off Amazon. In this next step, we're going to take our vacuum and we're going to suck up all the dust and dirt that we can get with our vacuum. You want to make sure you're getting behind the swivel. So take your hand and move the snoo so you can get underneath the base here. And do the same for this side. Swivel it so you can suck up all of the dust and dirt on underneath the base. You can see now there's a bunch of dust and dirt and crumbs that are in the inner rim of the snoo. You can take your vacuum and try to get as much as you can out by just circling the rim. For this next step, we're going to learn how to take off this base part. So you want to take your screwdriver and we are going to remove these 6 screws. There we go. These screws have a tiny clear piece of plastic at the bottom of it, so just make sure that doesn't fall off and you keep it together with your screw. I put these screws in another cup or container to keep them all together for when I need to reassemble the snoo. You should have 6 long screws. Step is we're going to remove this thin metal plate. It should lift up pretty easily. Just comes right off. And you can set this aside. This little lock right here, we need to unscrew in order to lift this base up. Right now, it's locked. This little line is closed and this circle is open. This tiny little circle right there is our marker. So if that circle is to the line, it's closed. We need to move that little circle to the open. So you take your flathead screwdriver, push down hard, hold the base since it's swivelly, and turn. So you see now the circle is open. The base is now unlocked. The next step is we need to remove these zip ties. I take a wire cutter because I can easily get in there. You could use some scissors as well. So you take your wire cutter. There's 3 zip ties. We push the wiring over as far as we can because we do not want to cut the wiring. We are just cutting the zip ties, the clear zip ties.
Action.
Once you clip it, it should come. These are trash, so you can throw these away once you're done. The next step is we're going to unplug the wiring. You can see that there is clips, tiny little clips. You can slide out the wiring. If you can't get in with your fingers, I use a hook tool that you can easily glide it out.
Okay.
This one doesn't want to go. Okay. We are now going to pull the wiring apart. You have to be very careful that we're not pulling on the wires themselves, but you want to use the brackets. I use a pair of small pliers to help me get a good grip on it. The easiest way to do this is you take your plier, make sure you're holding the bracket, not the wiring. Take your clipper or your pliers and slowly wiggle out. These are a little stiff. If you have a newer SNOO, this is a 2019. If you have a newer SNOO, you might be able to just pull with your fingers. But the older SNOOs, 2020, 20 and below, you're gonna need a tool. So same thing, hold on to the bracket and slowly wiggle it free. You're gonna do that 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And remember, do not hold the wiring, hold the bracket, because if the wires come out, we can't get them back in. The next step is we're going to take this whole plate and pull it up. There's 4 holes here. I put my fingers in each hole and lift up. Make sure you guide the wiring through the holes. And then once they're free, you can remove the whole base. And we are now inside of the SNOO. So now that we're inside of the SNOO, we can check on our O-rings. As you can see here, we have O-rings here, 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 and here. These are the roller O-rings. We also have O-rings on the motor, which is right here. The problem areas are these 3 O-rings. As you can tell, these are all shredded. This O-ring here is broken. Your SNOO will not work. It will stop rocking if one of these O-rings are snapped or the motor O-rings are completely shredded. So if you are watching this video, your SNOO has probably stopped rocking, and this is the reason why. As you can see here, the motor O-rings are completely shredded. We have 1 over here, and then you can see all of the debris around it. Your SNOO has stopped rocking because these O-rings are no longer intact. Another reason why your SNOO will stop rocking is because the O-rings on this one has snapped. As you can see, the O-ring is broken off. The first step is I take my plier tools, straight down and pull up. They should just easily pop out. You're going to do that on all of your O-rings. If you're already in here, you might as well just replace them all so they're all the same size and they're all new. The O-rings easily come off, so we want to take off all of the old O-rings. And you can throw these in the trash. If you want to avoid the hassle of hunting down the correct O-ring size and specifications, look no further. Our O-ring repair kit is the perfect solution for fixing your SNOO's motor and baseboard O-rings. It comes with a full set of new O-rings with accurate O-ring sizes. The kit also includes a set of zip ties that will help you reapply the wires, making the repair process hassle-free. We also offer fast shipping so you can get your SNOO up and running in no time. To order your repair kit, simply go to our website at www.snoozymama.com. We now take our new O-rings and they easily just go right around where you took the old one off. Once you have them all reapplied, line up the square and drop it right back in to where you took them out and gently push down. And you have now just changed out all of the roller O-rings. As you can see here, all of these O-rings are shredded. Originally, they looked like this. 3 small O-rings. As you can see here, these are all shredded and broken off. So we need to clean up this area, take the old O-rings off, which depending on how rugged yours are, they should easily just come off, and throw these away. You can take a vacuum or a dry wipe to get all of this extra debris out of here. While you're in your SNOO, you're also going to see a bunch of dust and dirt. You can take your small vacuum and clean that up as well while you're in here. This last part, we're now going to put on 3 of the small O-rings. These are a little harder to put on because they are very stiff and you're putting them in a small space, but 3 of them do fit on there. You want to hook it on the edge and roll it over. These do not go on as easily as the other ones. So you might have to work for this a little bit more. Once you get the first one, roll it down and do the same thing with the other 2. Hook it on the edge and roll it over. Push down. Now the last one, hook it over the edge, roll it over, and push down. You've now replaced the 3 motor O-rings. We now need to put our base back on the SNOO. And the first step to do that though, is we need to align these rockers. They have to be lined up perfectly, or those 6 screws that we originally took out will not screw in. This step is very important. If you took this off, you should be able to see a tiny little hole right there. That's the marker. If this piece is not properly aligned, if that middle screw is not properly aligned with that indent, those 6 screws are not going to tighten and you will have to reassemble your SNOO. The easiest way to do this is I take skewers. I have a metal skewer, a wooden skewer, anything that's going to keep those in place while I put the top back on. Take your skewer, put it straight into the hole, and make sure that the end of that skewer is in the indent. You do that for both sides. All right. The next step is now you need to reassemble the zip ties. The easiest way to do that is with this off, you just have more movement. So you take your zip tie, and each one of these little brackets here, they should just slide right through. You can go from either direction. And just to get it in place. So slide the zip ties. If one direction isn't working, try the other direction. Sometimes this can be tricky. There it goes. Leave it open for now. We're just prepping this. The next step is we need to now align the base up with our skewers. You need to make sure that you have it on the correct way. These teeth here, these metal teeth, these go on the side of the motor, which is right here. The metal teeth on the bottom of the SNOO line up on the side with the motor. This next step, we are now going to place the base back on top. But remember, like I said, it has to be lined up correctly. So we put our skewers down, and those skewers are going to go into this middle hole here. So very carefully, I like to look through the middle hole, find the skewer, and slowly drop it down onto the Go very slowly because we do not want to move that brown piece. Once you have that one in, go to the next side and do the same thing. This one you have a little bit more room. I slide my hand underneath, stabilize the skewer, and guide it into the hole. The next step is we now need to fish the wires back through and reconnect. Once again, I use my hook tool, grab the wiring through the hole, Sometimes you can use your finger to feel with it. And then once you know where it is, grab your hook and go in and grab it. You should be fishing out 3 wires. 2 on this side and 1 over here. Once you have your wiring out, you can then reconnect. If you run into trouble and you cannot find the wiring or it's too tight, gently lift up to give yourself some extra space and pull the wiring out if you need to loosen it up. Once all the wiring, we want to gently push down, grab our flathead screwdriver, and now we need to lock the base. So remember how we're open, the markers to open, we now need to make it closed. It might be a little wobbly. Push down, and now we're going to lock. So the base is now locked into place. The marker is now closed. This next part is an extra step, but it is definitely worth it because if you're not lined up correctly here, once you get everything back together, you're going to have to retake the SNOO apart again to get those screws lined up. So before you even get to that portion, let's just make sure we're in the right spot. So take your screw, take the skewer out, and put the screw in the middle. Do that on both sides. You can use your hand screwdriver, your electric screwdriver, or your hand screwdriver to do this. These screws are very tricky. It's going to take a while for it to catch. You see how it's just going and going and going and not tightening? Push down. And it will eventually screw in. You're going to do the same on this side. We're just doing the middle ones, and I'm just doing just this to make sure I'm in the right spot. So the same on this. Push down. We are lined up correctly. The next step is now we're going to attach the wires. This little ridge here fits into this opening there. Reconnect. We're going to do the same with all 3 wires. The next step is now putting the wires nicely back. The nice thing about the SNOO is it has the markers for us, so we know exactly where we need to place the wiring. You see these markers? These are where we're going to put them in the clips and where we're going to fasten the zip ties. This one, there's the mark. Fish it underneath the hook. Fish this one underneath the hook. But we still have some loose ends here. Pull the side. You can use your hook tool once again. Pull the side that does not have that wire, the red mark, to gently put it into place. And then take the wiring and tuck it in. This side, same thing. It tells you where the zip tie needs to be tightened. Tighten the zip tie. Tighten the zip tie. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Line up the marker. pull the portion that does not have the red mark through. Gently push that into the foam and tighten the zip tie on the mark. Next, we now need to clip off the excess zip ties. Take your snipper or your scissors. The easiest way is to just clip as close to the knob as possible. The next step here is we are now going to remove these middle screws here. Be very careful not to wiggle the SNOO. We're going to take it out and we're going to put our placeholder right back in. And do the same with this side. Once you take that screw, immediately put your placeholder back in. We now are going to grab our thin metal piece. This part with the speaker slats goes on the side with the speaker. The speaker is this square box. Speaker holes go over the side of the speaker. So just like we did with the base, we're going to line up the holes with our skewers. This one's a lot easier to do. Gently place over. Now we're going to take our 6 screws and screw in the base. Take out the skewer, put it in the middle, take out the other skewer, put your screw in the middle. This is the moment of truth, is if we're lined up correctly. Push down when you're tightening the screw. That one's in. We're going to do the same on this side. Push down when you're tightening the screw. And we're in. Now that those are locked, we can confidently put in the rest. If your screws are not tightening and pushing down, applying pressure while tightening does not tighten it, try a couple more attempts. Sometimes it takes a while for that screw to catch into that brown part. If that is still not working, what you can do is you can flip the SNOO onto its side and hit the side like this. The whole point of that is we're trying to move that brown piece into the correct space. It's hard to tell which way it's off, so you can try both ways. On its side, hit, and try, and then apply pressure and re-screw. If that's not working, try the other side. Flip it on the side. Bang. Pressure and try to screw in. In these final steps, we're gonna put the netting back into the base. You wanna take this hard plastic piece, line it up behind the sensor clip. Take your wedge tool. Do not use your nails because your nails will split. Take your wedge tool and push the hard plastic piece into the clip. You should hear it click once it's in. The final step is applying the clips back into the base. This part can be tricky, and I will go over some troubleshooting tips if you get stuck. The easiest way to do this is this flat piece here goes into this opening on the inner clip. You pop it in. I use my thumbs. I push down on the side closest to the netting first. Once I hear the clip, then I can do the other side as well. One of the parts that you might get stuck on is trying to get these clips back in. And here is the trick. If you're seeing that this opening right here is thin, this clip is not going to clip in there. This opening right here needs to be wide open like this one. The reason that this one is not open is because the hard part of the netting is not pushed all the way in. So you'll have to pull it out, take your wedge tool and push it in a little bit farther, and you'll see that little mouth open up. Now your clip will go in smoothly. The other part where you might get stuck on is you'll find that it will go in. The first one will snap, but then this second clip will not snap in. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your wedge tool and you're going to go directly into the second hole and push down. And it should pop right into place. So after you have all your clips in and your SNOO is dried and clean, you're ready to go. If you found that video helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. Also, we offer more than just video tutorials. We offer customer support. So if you guys are ever stuck on a step or need extra help repairing or cleaning your SNOOs, reach out to us. We're at snoozymama.com. There you can find more videos on how to completely remove the mesh, wash, reapply, and also repair your O-rings. Thank you for watching.